these young ladies coming in?
They're coming in right now.
Who are these young ladies?
Quick break, and we're back because Andrea Barber and Jodie Sweetin are coming in.
Sweet. Sweet.
I'm so glad you did that because it wasn't enough to say it.
Yeah.
From Fuller House, welcome. Have a
Hello.
seat.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
How
Hello.
you doing?
We're good, we're good.
How's the morning been?
We're just
So
getting
far, so
started.
good.
Yeah. Okay.
Short so far.
So you were on Full House?
Oh
Guy who's a really bad interviewer.
Yeah, we did a little research on you.
Do you remember us? You were here before.
Yes, I do.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Has it been like long enough now? I would assume for a while you guys didn't want to talk about Full House at all. Like you wanted to kind of get done with it right after it, or not really?
No, we've never had that reaction.
Yeah, I mean,
We've
it was
embraced
never like something that we hated. You know what I mean? Like, it was always something that, we had a great experience with it. It was always something we enjoyed. So I don't think we ever, tried to run away from it.
But isn't there a point,
Right.
like, when you're an adult, like when you do something when you're a kid where you want, let's talk about the adult projects because they just keep...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always nice to sort of move on and be able to talk about other things, but it's never anything that we're like, we're not talking about this. You know what I mean? There's, trust me, there's certain child stars that have, in their contract that you can't mention certain things.
Do they really?
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
What can't you mention?
I'm not going to say because then you'd know who I'm talking about,
Yeah,
but they
just
don't like
things
to
about
be
the show.
referenced. Yeah, they
Oh,
don't
is
like
it
to be
an
known.
old show?
Yeah.
But it's so funny. Like the more people.
Wait, hold on. You can't mention the project in an interview or on set?
On set, like if they're doing something new, they don't want it to be yeah, it's fucking
So like as a
Ew.
person, like you can't just like.
I know.
Isn't that
just-
weird?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, like, nobody would have given a shit about any of us had we not been on Full House.
Which is
So,
the healthiest
it's like-
attitude to have.
It's
We're
like, you know
very
what?
grateful for
yeah.
it.
Yeah, because the more you try to, like, the people who really try to fight and don't bring that up and don't talk about it, it's like those are the people who it holds them back.
Right.
Like the ones that just kind of embrace it and then keep moving.
Right.
It really never hurts.
Exactly. Well, it's. I mean, we all have those projects that we're like, you know what, this is what we're known for, and we have fun with it, and yeah, we get to do other stuff as adults, but
And
no harm
open
in
the
something.
door.
Yeah.
I would love to know
That must be
what
such
you
a-
can't say to this other person. Even in
I know, see, I
conversation.
should've just shut my
no,
mouth
No,
and
but it's
that's it.
interesting because I'm sure other people have that stuff. Like you can't say, "Hey, I enjoyed your work and that other project."
Well,
no,
no,
it's
it's
like
just
certain
more you can't
catchphrases.
like certain catchphrases. Like they're like you can't
Yeah.
make reference
Dynamite!
to it. Like,
Can't do that
like,
one.
right? Yeah.
can't.
No, but I mean stuff like that where people are just very
Catchphrases.
sensitive about it.
You just
right?
drop stuff like off the craft services table and go, "Did I do that?"
What's that one? I don't know that one.
Urkel?
Yeah.
That was kind of a big one.
No, I was an adult by that. I didn't watch the Family. What's it called?
Family Matters.
Yeah,
Yes.
Don't lie.
I was busy. I was busy.
You can't call Michael J. Fox Alex P. Keaton.
I don't think he'd care.
No, I don't think so.
No,
either.
he's a good egg. I
Yeah,
don't think he would
he's a
care.
good guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so it's a catchphrase thing. I know Dynamite, Jimmy Walker, you got to pay him extra to
You
say
gotta
that
pay-
Really?
on
Really?
stage. Yeah, because he's just
Wow.
tired of it. I mean, you've been saying that same dumb word since 1974.
How much do you have to pay him?
sure, yeah.
I don't know.
You should start charging for how rude.
Well, like I said,
Is it how rude yours?
How rude is gonna be like on my tombstone?
How do you
like,
say
I
it?
just sort of like how rude. Like I've just settled into it. Like whatever.
That'll be $500.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. She's my agent.
I have to tell you, as somebody who grew up with the show, that was exciting when you said that just now.
Oh, see?
so I get
Yeah.
where I
Yeah,
get where that
you-
comes in. Yeah.
It's I get it. I mean,
But
we all
how
have
many-
those childhood shows.
How many times have you said that in real life? Like that's too.
So many.
Not even meaning it. You're
So
arguing with
many.
your husband. How rude! Don't
Right.
bring the show
Yeah,
shit here.
no. Yeah.
But you probably, that's probably one of those things that you have to leave on everybody's voicemails when they see you and stuff. Hey, you've reached Sam, but I'm not here right now. Okay, do the thing. Do the
Right,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, how rude!
Right.
No. Do it the way you did on
Right,
the show.
Let's
yeah.
re-record it.
I
Let's
don't know.
re-record it.
How rude!
Right. I should just start saying it like completely the opposite of how I said it on the show,
How?
and then nobody will ask me
Yeah.
anymore.
Rude?
How? Yeah.
Like Christopher
rude.
Walken. I would just start doing it some really strange, like
When you, Andrea, you left acting altogether after the show, right?
I did. I left the show and went to college.
Right.
I did.
But when you're in college, like I would imagine everybody's coming up to you because they would have all grown up with the show too. So that becomes a thing, doesn't it? Like, this is the Kimmy Gibbler goes to this school. Do you know this school that I go to?
It was probably talked about a lot, like behind closed doors, because I didn't hear much of it. It was talked about more in high school because I went to a regular public high school when I was on Full House, and so it was more people who were like teasing, like, Kimmy Gibbler, your feet stink, and it's like, oh, shut up.
Right.
But in college, no, people are cool. They're cool. They're mature. They kind of like kept to themselves.
I did not have that experience. I remember moving into the dorms and they like played the Full House theme song.
No.
I was just like, you assholes. Yeah.
Why'd you leave acting? Who's talking about leaving acting and going to college? There's somebody who's just talking about that.
Yeah, we were just talking about that the other day.
Somebody who's got a great career and they're thinking about.
Oh yeah, Carl from Walking Dead.
Carl from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we were talking.
He's leaving the show to go to college.
That's maybe he might just be using that to negotiate more money.
Oh.
But
okay.
when you decide to leave acting, are you really sick of it, or did you audition and nothing else was happening? You're like, let me just go to college. And what made you want to do that?
No, I had a great experience on Full House, and I thought this was a great hobby as a child. Like, some kids play sports, and for me, I was just on a hit TV show, and I was just ready to learn new things.
You weren't driven to continue it.
No.
Wow.
No, I just didn't have the desire.
Yeah, because for those of us on the outside, we're like. This sort of like, I just want to be a normal kid. Like, why? Like, being a normal kid is the worst. You're on a TV show. Just keep being on more TV
being
shows.
Being a normal kid sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It's not fun.
No.
Did you kept acting after, right?
I did. I acted for a little while, but I also, I went to. I was a lot younger when the show finished. I was just starting high school, but I went to performing arts high school. I did musical theater for 4 years, and then I went to college too.
Performing arts high school where, LA or New York?
In Orange County. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Were people annoyed at your high school when you started auditioning for the plays? Because it's like, of course they're going to put Stephanie in the play. Like that's bullshit.
We had we had a lot of really talented people. I went to school with Taryn Manning, who's on Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Matt Morrison, who did Glee and who's done a lot of theater stuff. There were a lot of people at that school that went on to do some really great things who were also super talented. So it wasn't, I definitely I was not like the only talented person at that school. It was actually really stiff competition. So.
But were you annoyed that you had to audition? Like,
Not
that's
at
gotta
all.
suck. Really, when they're like, all right, everybody's auditioning, you're like, all right,
How
I'll
about this
show
for
up.
an audition? How rude.
No.
Okay, I'm that person.
Perfect.
No, it was,
Oh my
I
God,
would never
we're
want to do that.
Snapchatting. How rude. This is so much fun.
Shut up.
Oh my God. Oh, how rude.
Aren't you too old to be Snapchatting?
Yes, I am. I'm much too old to be Snapchatting.
Just an old man Snapchatting
Young
and making
technology.
references to shows that he
Right.
was 30 when they came out.
Excuse me. Older men.
Hey, Bob Saget Snapchats more than anybody
God.
else
Does
on the
he?
show, including
Yeah.
the teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who knows if there's an age limit on Snapchat.
Are they doing cameos? Because the second season of Fuller House is on Netflix right now.
Yes.
Are there? Because the first season, of course, you got to do the cameos, right?
Right.
And then it sets up for the fact that it's a different show.
Yeah.
Are they doing cameos again this season?
Yeah,
they
they
still
still.
do.
I think each of them did like 3 episodes. Well, this season is all about the holidays. It's Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So of course the whole family comes back for a lot of the holidays. So
That's so funny because
Yeah.
they're like that's like a sitcom staple, right? Like the holiday
right,
episode.
this is the
So they're like,
season of holiday
We're gonna
episodes,
smash them all into one season,
right?
And it makes sense.
And then release them right
time-wise.
before Christmas. Everyone's super excited to watch it. So
Yeah.
It's got to be very hard to when you have something big to walk away from it and then come back to it. It's got to be great to come back to it. Like you still hold out hope for all these years. Like maybe we'll do something else, and then it kind of doesn't that fade after a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we all, we always have remained in contact, but I don't think that any of us ever expected to necessarily come back and redo, the Tanners and
It's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, and now we get to do it,
that.
and people are really loving it as sort of a standalone show and its own thing. So it's exciting,
I saw pictures of you guys in Japan. So you guys, I was amazed, but they showed like a whole bunch of fans. Like you guys are huge all over the world. It's not just here.
Japan loves Full House and now Fuller House. Like it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, we air in all 64 countries that Netflix is on, and it's very popular in all over the world.
So they send you all over the place to promote, and that's
yeah,
great.
Candace went to Berlin, and then we just went to Japan, and
Wow.
I know some of our cast went to Argentina. So we get to go all over the world with it.
Because I guess it's like the all-American family, right? And so like any country that's got any sort of reverence for American culture, which Japan is like obsessed with.
Oh my gosh,
They
yeah.
are, right?
Yeah,
They
it's
really
going to
are.
go crazy
it.
for the show.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I didn't make that connection, but maybe that's what it is. They do love American culture.
They love American culture, and our show has been on there for quite a number of years.
Do you do talk shows when you're over there? Or what do you do? What kind of press?
We did a lot of like magazine
Print.
press.
Yeah.
But I did a talk show, like live streaming talk show with Japan when I was in LA that we did. That was like a satellite thing that was live with all Japanese, and I had like a translator in my ear. It's very hard to. You're like super distracted because they're talking. You're trying to listen. It's crazy.
So when they send you over there, it's more for the photo op because they could easily send a reporter here to talk to you and get all that.
And they do. They send a lot of Japanese press to the set. But they wanted us to go over there and
just to be around all the Japanese fans. It's just a great photo op.
And we did a premiere event where they recreated the living room set on a stage, and we all walked out, and there were about 200, 300 fans in the audience, and all their cameras and all the press in the front. It was so cool to be.
And we did
living room.
We did
Japan
Indian press there. We did Filipino press. We did a couple other Asian countries as well came to do press with us.
And by the way, if I say photo op again, throw coffee in my face. I've said it fucking 8 times. The photo op. We heard you. We heard you.
How rude. How rude.
Oh, that's your. Wait a minute.
The thing.
The thing. Yes.
Was doing the show like the reboot? Was it a no-brainer for both of you, or were you guys waiting to see who else signed up, or what the scripts looked like, or what were your experiences deciding
it was an instant. Yeah, well, when Jeff Franklin called me and said, "Would you be interested in doing something like this?" It was an instant yes, but it took a few years to get.
But even for you, it wasn't really acting.
Well, it's going back and doing what I did for 8 years as a kid. You know,
but you're a different person now. So had you acted at all in between those?
Nope.
Oh, you've done nothing. So but that as an adult, you're doing something you did when you were younger. Now you know about as an adult, you understand the concepts of failing or being afraid. Whereas when you're a kid, it's just easier. So I think it's pretty amazing. You just walk back into it,
especially because you're one of the stars of the show. Like it's kind of you're not just the neighbor anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I came back mostly because it was such a great experience as a kid, and because I wanted to work with Jodie Sweetin again and Candace, and we were so close as a cast back then, and we remained so close in that interim. And I figured it was probably going to be a pretty great experience again too.
Why do you suppose there's no disasters to come from that show? Like there's a lot of kids involved in Full House, and I don't really think that there have been.
We've all managed to, we've all had life happen, but we all managed to kind of, make it out through the other end. So it's, to be honest, we all had great families outside of the show, and we had a great family connection on the show. So I think, we've had the support of a lot of people around.
Did you guys learn from the different Strokes cast? Like there's some of them that really did self-destruct. I mean, it's like all of them.
The whole cast.
Yeah.
I mean, also, I think the producers on our show were incredibly mindful and conscious of letting us have as many normal kid experiences as possible, and making sure that we had kind of one foot in real life. And I mean, I remember sending you off to prom,
right.
and they would have those moments where it was like, look, these are important milestones for you guys, and we want to make sure that you don't miss out on them.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Did you have I did one project that had a kid on it for a bunch of episodes, and it was weird how they would have she'd have to go off and do school.
Right.
They had a tutor for her, but I mean they made sure that she was not just on the set the whole time.
Well, legally you have to do at least 3 hours of school a day. And yeah, that's child labor laws and all that kind of stuff.
Do you have kids?
I do. I have 2 daughters, 8 and 6.
Do you want them to be in acting?
If that's what they really want to do, but I think that right now they're happy in school. Although our daughters actually did an episode of the show this year. They were extras on the show. I'm very excited about it.
Did you guys have stage mothers? Because you went into it so young, you have to have a parent pushing you into it, right? Or not pushing you, but
we had
nudging
parents.
you.
We were parents that were very supportive of us, but it was they never pushed it on us.
Yeah.
Right.
But they were supportive of what we wanted to do.
Because that's where it always gets into trouble when the kid becomes the breadwinner for the household.
Right.
And it's like, no, we got to keep.
My
it
mom
was
always
never
told
like
me if you're ever not having fun with this and you don't want to do it anymore, stop.
Yeah. It's like when
I my parents were super normal and never when I was 3 or 4, I was like, I really want to act, and my mom was like, all right, and started doing commercials, and then it just sort of snowballed. But they always told me if you're not having fun and you don't want to do this anymore, we will not make you do this.
You want to make when you're the kid making money, it's it's kind of the
my dad
cake.
still worked. My dad still worked. My mom had a job. It wasn't I wasn't the breadwinner of the house.
What did they do?
My mom, she was a little bit later on in the show, like she started managing other kids, and she started an event planning business. And then my dad was a superintendent at a gypsum plant in Long Beach Harbor. He had a very normal blue-collar job.
For real.
What's the gypsum plant?
Drywall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he had a business as a handyman for a long time. Like
just a regular
fixing
job.
stuff. Yeah, regular job. I came from very, very normal people.
I'm not a very handy person.
You're not?
Neither are you. Don't say that shocked like you
No,
are.
I mean, I like fix things around the house all the time.
No, you don't. No, you don't. We're not handy men.
Yeah,
No, we're not.
I had a very normal. And your parents?
My parents were very, very well. Yes, they were not.
Why'd you amend that? You were going to say fairly?
No, my parents are very normal. They're great. I love them. My dad was a lawyer, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So they're normal, but they're my parents, and so they kind of
But our
aggravate
parents,
you sometimes.
all three of our moms, myself, Candace, and Andrea, our moms and dads still come to every taping of the show and are just super excited to see us getting to do what we love. They're really supportive.
It's like a reunion for our parents
Yeah.
on the show
Oh, they
too,
all know
and
each other.
Candace Cameron Bure's parents as
How
well.
come she didn't come in? She's not doing press. It's because she left the
She's
View. She
doing-
didn't want to talk.
No, she's on the View right now. She's
Yeah.
still
Oh, okay.
she doesn't have an end date yet, so
Oh,
she's
okay.
doing the View this morning.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you guys. I'd be pissed if she was on the show with me and she left the View now, because I'd be like, "There's a lot of promo involved in that show.
No,
Like,
she did
wait
a
a
lot.
week, you know."
We did a full day of press yesterday.
Oh,
with
Okay,
her,
good,
yeah.
good.
Oh, that's my feelings are hurt.
Well, she
Why?
didn't just cancel this show. She
She
canceled
didn't-
all
no,
the.
she's not. Well, yeah, she's not doing any stuff with us today just because she still had to do the View.
Oh, all right.
Her press day with us was yesterday.
Oh, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Roland
It's
made it
nothing
look
personal. It's
Like, nah,
nothing
Roland made it look like we
She
had
was
said
like,
something.
that guy, I'm
She's
so
like,
not
whatever.
doing. Yeah. No.
So when you started dating, how did you know guys weren't just dating you like because of you were on the show? Like, isn't that awkward? Like, you don't know if the guy is just a big fan.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can kind of tell. You kind of have a sixth sense, I think, growing up.
They
Because
just call you Kimmy by mistake. Like,
yeah, that would be
I have
the
to go
first
through their
clue.
DVR history and see if they have Full House
Right.
being recorded.
There's a house-shaped DVD box
Right,
set in
yeah,
their
you're
corner
like,
of their room. Like,
I
don't worry
gotta
about
go.
that.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that how they would be? They'd come in a house-shaped
They
box
do.
set?
They come in a house. Yeah.
I get it. That's
That's so
smart.
cute.
Yeah.
But you pick up on that pretty quick.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with friendships. You can kind of tell which friends are genuine friends and who just wants to get to know you, just to kind of rub elbows with the celebrity.
What's the giveaway?
What they want to talk about. If they ask a lot about questions about John Stamos, it's like, all right, let's move on to a different topic.
Hey, you want to hang out with a bunch of my friends tonight? Yeah, like what, like Dave Coulier and stuff?
Right,
or,
yeah. Exactly.
You should
No,
just
it
lie
wasn't.
and wreck it for them. What's John Stamos like? He shit his pants a lot.
Yeah, just
By
really
choice.
ruin
It was
it all.
weird.
Right,
Just-
yeah. So
That's what he
strange.
wanted to
Oh, yeah,
do.
no, he wasn't sick or anything. He's just really lazy. He had to get up. Just give them terrible information.
Just give it. Yeah, exactly.
Were you worried at all when you put your book out and you kind of talked about your past and everything that it would spoil the image of you as like this innocent kid that people had in their heads too much that you couldn't go back to it?
No, I mean, it's a piece of who I am. It's not who I am anymore.
Right.
So it's now I get to move on and do other stuff.
What was in the book that would? What was it? Did you get drugs? How old do I sound? Drugs?
There's a lot of stuff that I don't need to talk about anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a whole.
It was a great autobiography, and it was a great way for Jodie to share her story, and I'm probably very cathartic too, and I'm proud of her for
and get it out,
for
right?
sharing it. Yeah.
And-
Do you
and-
regret it or no?
The book?
Well, yeah, or like now I have to go back to this show where I'm, that's not a part of my image.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's just, I get to move on and do new stuff. I don't really think about it anymore.
Just as someone who has discussed things that I probably shouldn't have in my life. Oh boy, yeah.
You feel like that? Yeah. Jim Norton is what we call Googleable.
Yeah. Really made a lot of mistakes.
We all do,
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
We all make mistakes. Like,
It's part of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's part of it. And you get to learn and move on.
What do you get weirded out at all when you find out? Because the new show Fuller House, which as we said is on Netflix season 2, it's first of all the first season was like super successful, right? Didn't Netflix say it was one of like their top original shows?
Netflix didn't say, but outside sources said. Because Netflix won't tell us.
They never tell you
Yeah,
numbers or
don't.
how you're doing.
Very
Never.
secretive.
No, which has its pluses and minuses. It's kind of nice because in a way you're not beholden to, numbers and ratings and all that kind of stuff. You just know that if people are watching it for whatever niche audience it fills, then Netflix is happy.
I think they also don't want you to be able to negotiate.
Yeah,
well,
'cause
that's
where it's
plus
not
and minuses.
Because they don't tell us numbers at
It's-
Sirius
it's
either, and we
Sirius,
know what's
exactly.
going on.
Yeah.
They just say you're bombing.
Right. Well, if you keep coming back, you're like, all right, well, I still have a job. So,
Yeah, that's what they want. Like, look, it's good enough that we're gonna do a season
Right,
2.
yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
No, I think we all had a pretty good idea that the show was immensely popular.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's interesting that like older people are watching it even though it's like this clear thing that like Full House was designed for kids and families.
Right.
And I think Fuller House is the same way. But a lot of older people that don't have kids or families that
Right.
just watch the show growing up are just
Yeah, I mean,
binging this
yeah,
show.
people love, they love the show, and I mean, we've tried to, put a little bit of a modern edge on it. It's not quite as saccharine as it was in the 80s, but it's still a family television show, but we have fun with that, and we try to kind of, acknowledge that and be a little bit self-aware of it.
What do you now? Is there any shot that the Olsen twins will do? Because when you look at the Wikipedia about it, it's like they're questionable. I guess they don't want to totally write them off as.
We've always said,
Yeah, the door's always open to them, and they left acting too when when they were.
Aren't they making more
18 or
money now though
whatever.
with this like fashion empire they have?
they're
Probably.
doing fine.
pretty well, right?
They're
I'm not
very
worried about
successful in
them.
fashion.
They're
Yeah.
Making
gonna
a
be
lot of
okay.
cake.
Yeah, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right.
Yeah.
they're gonna be
But
just
you
fine.
know, if they ever want to come back, the door's always open. But if they don't, we have a great show.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, and I don't think people watch it and go, oh, you know what? We really just the only thing that we need. I think people enjoy it. No
Well, I
matter
actually
what.
forgot they were on until I just asked you that. But it's got to
There you
be. I
go.
really did. It's got to be annoying though when you're doing a show that's very successful to have people going, well, "What about them?" Like, hey, we got a show without them. But I was
Well,
just,
you just asked, so
that's kind of the point I'm making. Like,
Right.
I just probably did that thing that gets annoying, but I forgot they were ever on the show.
Well,
until you-
yeah. I mean, that's
We got
I
that question a lot the first season.
Yeah.
That was the number one question we got doing season 1. But with season 2, it's been just a couple of questions here and there. So I think people are realizing that this is a great show, no matter who shows up.
Yeah.
Jim was just really asking an annoying question because he was hoping he'd get the catchphrase again. That you would tell him it was rude.
I've reached my daily maximum.
Yeah.
We really,
I can only say it so many times a day.
we
yeah.
really screwed it for any other show you're doing today.
Yeah, we really,
We took them all.
we certainly did.
Jeez.
Yeah, I would hate to date someone who had a catchphrase.
Would you?
Yes.
Why?
Why?
She'd probably use it a lot.
No.
What are you talking about?
My exes have
No.
all had catchphrases.
What kind of
no.
catchphrases have your exes had?
How come that thing's not hard?
Yeah, well, there it is.
Right?
That's a reaction, Jim. That's not a catch.
That's not a catchphrase.
Yeah,
that's
she
just
hasn't
a
done
question.
that. She hasn't done that in other instances. It's important for everybody to have catchphrases, though.
I apologize.
I wonder if the networks are kind of realizing, because it seems like Netflix has kind of tapped into something that a lot of the networks figured, like, no, I don't know about that, or just because they haven't tried this stuff like your show and other
Right.
shows that Netflix has done.
Narcos. Netflix is great.
Yeah, that have been
Narcos
really
so good.
successful.
They're,
So
they're
good.
doing something like HBO did, where it was all this
Right.
brilliant original programming,
Yeah.
and now
You're
Netflix
right.
is doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reports were that ABC's viewing actually went down a significant percentage when season 1, the night that season 1 premiered.
Really?
Yeah.
So people are
they
literally
lost the audience that watched our show, and so I think they were kind of kicking themselves in the ass. But
Was ABC first talking about doing this?
we went and pitched it to them. And and
said
so
no.
and they were like, "Well, we don't know if it's." And we're like, "Okay,
That's like, The Sopranos was pitched to Fox,
yeah."
and they
wow.
said no.
You know
that
what?
show wouldn't have. You
It would've
had
been
to do it on
terrible.
HBO.
I
mean,
agree.
There's certain things you have to do on the premium networks,
Yeah.
and I think that I think Netflix has actually been a great home for us because, our fans love to binge watch this show. They love to watch it over and over and over again. They've watched the same 192 episodes for almost 30 years.
Right.
So, they love the opportunity that they can just watch this over and over and over and over again and watch it all at once. So
Yeah, but it is funny. Like a show like that, which could be done on television because it's
Right.
not dirty.
Yeah.
Like Narcos, you probably got to do where you do
Right.
it. But
Well, it's interesting
You
that
gotta kick yourself.
Netflix is really smart about not just going for shows that of course that's on Netflix.
Right. Right.
They're actually picking up, they picked up Chelsea's show. So now
Right.
they're tapping into those people who watch late night TV.
Exactly.
And they're realizing that the people who still do watch network sitcoms,
Right.
that is an
That is-
audience, and we can get
Absolutely.
them over on
and they
this
were, one of the big things that they were looking for when we went and pitched them the show was like family co-viewing opportunities where parents and families and kids would all sit down and watch a show together, because that didn't really exist for a long time. There was like, your kids' cartoon shows, or there was Narcos and House of Cards and things like that. There wasn't a lot that families could watch together, and families still want to watch TV together. Like, I still want to sit down and watch something with my kids that, like, isn't going to be totally offensive. Although my kids watch Family Guy and it goes totally over their head, but no.
How old is your oldest again?
8.
Okay. Jim just said that at 9, that's the time when kids should realize that Santa is not real.
I say before that.
Well,
Before
trust me,
that.
I think she's holding on to the last straw. I think she started being like, really? But, she's got a little sister, and I'm like, if you blow this for her, I will kill you.
I was 7 when I found out, but I mean, I found out from my friends, and my mother just confirmed it when I asked her.
Yeah, I mean, if she asked, I'll always be honest with them, but she still has that little, I think, glimmer and hope of magic, and I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah, you don't want to wreck it. I mean,
No.
how about your kids? Do you have kids?
I have 12-year-old and a 9-year-old, and my 12-year-old boy, he kind of figured it out right around 9. But my 9-year-old girl still holds on, but I think she just wants more presents.
That's what I did.
So-
I
Yeah.
held on to that shit for like 2 years when I was
Yeah.
like, this is so not real, but I get double the presents.
Right.
You know
Right.
it's bullshit, but you're like,
But you're like, and there's part of you that's like, but it is magical and fun. And, like, I look forward to the holidays and, like, having that moment where they wake up on
Yeah, I was
Christmas
like
morning.
you could also-
17 thinking, oh, Mom, Santa's coming tonight.
but the
Right.
thing is, though, when you're a kid, you can ask for more stuff with Santa because you're not saying, Mom, could you get me?
Right. They're like
Yeah.
Santa.
That's what I'm saying.
And
The
it's-
elves are building it, right?
Yeah, right. The elves are built. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, and
And then if you don't get it, then you don't have to criticize your parents. You can
Right.
go, boy, that Santa's a real piece of garbage.
Right, yeah, exactly. And, and your parents can say, yeah, Santa sucks.
Well, the second season of Fuller House is now
It is
available.
on now.
It's
Yes.
on Netflix. You can binge it all weekend. How many episodes is it?
13.
13.
Oh, that's great.
13.
Brand new episodes. So
Yep.
congratulations on getting the second season.
Thank
and,
you very much.
And this whole journey has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, it has,
So-
and it continues to be. So here's to many more.
Yes, thank you,
Absolutely.
Andrea
our pleasure.
Barber and Jodie Sweetin.
Thank
Take a break.
you.